Hey y'all, let's talk about how to reinvent yourself at 40 because listen, midlife pivots matter too. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. I'm Patrice, your bona fide content mompreneur, and I'm back with another video. We are in my home. We are no longer in my content studio because I closed that thing, which is part of what we're gonna talk about in this video. But no, I'm so thankful that you are back here. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Patrice. I turned 40 in December of 2023. I have 3 children. I've been married for maybe 16-ish years. We met when I was 19. We got married when I was 24. And we're still together, honey. Anyway, I have a full-time job. I'm a marketing and communications director for a very, very large mega church in the DC area. I formerly owned a content studio called Camp Space, one of the first ones in the world. We're gonna go ahead and say that. And now I am just really committed to helping moms like me really learn how to put themselves first and really understand how to put themselves first, but also just like be the best that they can be for themselves. When you're a mom, when you're a full-time employee, when you're an entrepreneur, everybody and everything is before you. Everything comes before you. And I don't subscribe to that. Now, there are absolutely some times where I got to take the back burner. For example, I wanted to be at the pool today. The sun is shining, it's hot. I really wanted to be at the pool, but I needed to get this content off. So we do what we got to do to get where we need to get to. But I'm also still putting myself first, right? Because this is important to me. So this video, actually, before we get into the video, I want you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up for this, even before we get started, because I know it's gonna be good. And if you need any of the things that I mentioned in this video, make sure you tap all of the links that are gonna be in the description. Really happy you're here. Oh, and share this with another mom, with another woman, just with another person who maybe be struggling with reinventing themselves or struggling with putting themselves first, whether you're a man or a woman, anything, whatever you want to call yourself, child. These principles and the things here, the things that I did to reinvent myself at 40, I think can be helpful to anybody. So here we go. Now, before we get into the things that I did to reinvent myself and to really kind of change who I was after turning 40, I got to tell you how I felt before I turned 40. So about a month and a half before my 40th birthday, I was depressed. I definitely had borderline depression, I think. I was afraid to turn 40 because I felt like I hadn't accomplished the things that I needed to accomplish. I was in debt. I think I did a lot of things to like mask the fact that I was nervous about turning 40. And that had all of these other consequences that I'm happy that I'm getting out of, but it wasn't until my 40th birthday, I was at the Ritz-Carlton. My husband sent me there. I did a vlog on that, 40th birthday vlog. The link is in the description. I really just had quiet time to sit and think, and I realized how blessed I am, how blessed I was to see 40. I have friends who didn't see 40. I got friends who didn't even see 21. And so to be there was really, it put everything into perspective. Now, I'm not saying that if you are feeling these feelings of depression or sadness, that it's going to be a quick fix for you. You may need to seek professional help. That wasn't the case for me. But if you are having those feelings, those angst, and just not feeling happy about reaching a milestone birthday, then you might need to do some digging and see some counseling. But for me, I woke up, I just realized that I was blessed to be in that position. And from that day forward, right, December 9th, 2023, I put a plan in place. So here are the 9 things that I did to reinvent myself after turning 40. Now, some of these things were quick changes. Some of these things were internal changes. Some of these things I needed to have support from other people, but they were all really important to where I am today, Patrice, 40 and a half. I turned 41 in December, and I just feel like my best self. I feel like I like me. I love me. I really, really do. And I'm doing the work. And I think that no matter if you're turning 40 or 30 or 32 or 24 or whatever, you should love yourself too. And I see a lot of reinvention videos on, how to glow up, how to do all the things on YouTube. I see all of that and I actually watch them. I can't say that the tips that I see were helpful to me, okay? And I'm happy that I figured out my own path and my own journey to get to this level of contentment. But I do hope that it helps you. And it might not be the full list. It might just be 1 or 2 things that resonate with you. But listen to it and take heed, because there is a chance you might be in the same situation at some point. And if I can help you navigate through that process, because you do have to feel the feeling, right? You have to. But if I can share what I've been through to help you navigate your own life, then I did my job. So one of the first things that I did to reinvent myself, and I actually did this before I turned 40, was I cut my hair. Okay, so There's a lot of videos on this channel where I have locks, and that wasn't my first time having locks. That was my second time, and it wasn't my first time cutting my hair, right? Like cutting my hair is not a big deal. It's just hair. And when I cut that weight off of me, I just felt sexier. I felt skinnier. I also had like a lot of breakage. I found out a couple months later that I do actually have alopecia. I didn't cut my hair because of the alopecia. I found out afterwards. But when I got the diagnosis, it all kind of made sense. So cutting those locks was like just cutting some dead weight. I started those locks during the pandemic. So I had pandemic weight up in there, pandemic energy, and I just wanted to get it off. I also had color, and I just felt really, really beautiful. And I'll also say that those locks were not something that I planned. I was just bored during the pandemic, and I just started twisting my hair, and I just kept it going. So I wasn't intentional about that hairstyle. I just did it. And I do think that sometimes, that spontaneity can be great, but I do think that you have to be really intentional about every part of your life, from the way your skin looks, to your hair, to your nails, to what you have on. Like, what vibe do you want to give people? Who do you want people to think you are when they see you? And if any part of your being doesn't match that, switch it up. So the first thing I did was I chopped the hair off. That's a very easy way to reinvent yourself, right? Get a new hairstyle. So then, yes, I turned 40 in December of 2023. And really from like September to December, I was down bad. I remember crying every day and just, really being depressed. But then my birthday came, God opened up. My birthday came and I really had to not snap out of it, but I realized, like I said earlier, how beautiful it was to reach this milestone. And so I committed to my health. Now, working out is not new to me. I'd had a trainer before. Shout out to Evolve Body Wellness, the best gym in the DMV area. I started going to them when they first opened in March of 21. And then I was going for 2 years. And then I took a break in 2023, which also impacted how I felt about myself. Okay. But after I hit when I turned 40, I said, no, girl, you got to go back to the gym. So I told my parents that, don't get me no gift cards. I told everybody, if you want to get me something for my birthday and for Christmas, give me cash so that I can pay for my personal training. And that is exactly what they did. So that jump start to somebody just paying for my gym for 3 months was a total game changer. And my body started to change. And just so you know, guys, since January when I started going, I have lost 15 pounds. Okay, your girl, skinny. All right, so started the gym and have been going to the gym 3 days a week, doing weightlifting, doing Stairmaster, all the things. And actually 3 days a week weightlifting, 2 or 3 days a week doing Stairmaster. I try to go for a walk every day, at least 3.5 miles. So health has been really important to me. Obviously, it makes me look good, but it makes me feel so good. So before, when I didn't feel good, I would go get a cocktail or I would do edible. But now I'm usually going to go for a walk or I'm just going to go work out because that is the best way for me to release the stress that I have in my life. The next thing that I did was I changed my cell phone number. I'd had that cell phone number for at least 16 years. It was a number that I had from an old job and I still had it. I went to Tulum. You can also watch that vlog. The link is in the description. I went to Tulum, Mexico for a solo trip and I woke up and one day I just was like, I want to change my number. I need to change my number. I don't want everybody to have access to me anymore. That was a huge game changer. Okay. And I didn't think it was going to make such a big deal, but it literally set this hard boundary for who could reach out to me. And those who needed the number obviously had it. My family, my husband, my kids, my mom, my dad, my sister, they all had it immediately. But literally I landed back in the DMV on Wednesday. I called T-Mobile on Thursday and changed my number. And it felt so good. And there were a few people that I reached out to with the new number that I hadn't told I changed the number. And they were like, who is this? So I had to kind of verify that I was who I was. But I still have some people every now and then that'll DM me, hey, I tried to reach out to you and it turned green. And I'm like, oh, I got a new number. So it's like, if people need to reach me, they can reach me and they can get the number, but most people don't need to reach me. So changing my number was crucial for the reinvention of Patrice. And it's something you should think about. We are too connected and too attached to phone numbers and screen names and all the things that don't matter. Just like you change, all the other things that come along with you can change too. And that's what I hope you get out of this. Like, get out of this thought that you got to be the same person like all the time. No, you can change. We are ever changing people. If you're not changing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dead. And so reinvention was this recent reinvention over the last 6 months, over the last year, I guess, has really helped just like kind of reshape how I think about everything. The next thing that I did was that I set really strict rules on social media. So I love social media. Y'all know I'm a content girl, but I get on these apps and I feel the energy of the people coming into my life, and I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And even if it's not their energy, it's like sometimes it can elicit feelings from me that didn't even exist before until I saw what they had going on. I didn't like that. So I have a rule for myself that during the week, usually Monday through Friday, I don't get on my personal social media pages until 12 o'clock p.m. Now, as a director of marketing communications for a mega church, I do manage the pages for my job, but most of that I'm scheduling it or I'm getting in real quick and getting out. And as soon as I hire my administrative assistant, he or she will be doing that. But usually I am not getting on those platforms personally until 12 o'clock. And sometimes it's hard, right? A lot of times it's hard. That has really helped me manage, set boundaries, but also not start my day on social media. You can waste a good hour just laying in a bed looking up Instagram when you could have been working out. Okay. Other thing that I do now, I don't watch vlogs in my house. Like I used to literally sit on my couch, turn on the YouTube and watch vlogs. Hour and a half, 3 hours wasted. Now, the only time I can watch vlogs is when I'm on a Stairmaster or when I'm doing some type of cardio that I'm stationary and I can have my phone in front of me. That's like my guilty pleasure. So the only way that I can indulge in that guilty pleasure is if I'm bettering myself in some kind of way. You get skinny and you get to watch your vloggers. It's a no-brainer. So if you're thinking about reinventing yourself, really look at how you're allowing social media and the lives of other people to impact you and set some boundaries there. Cut them out of your life. Focus on what you need to focus on first, and then add it to your day when you have time or when you've done everything you need to pour into yourself, and there's then time to have some bonus fun time. The next thing that I did to reinvent myself, and this happened a little bit after Tulum because I had all these beach pictures, is that I really just kind of washed things to make sure my brand looked like who I want it to be. So in my life, I will have a beach house. I will live on the beach. I will homeschool my kids. I will have a garden. That is where I'm going to live at some point. My life is going to look like that. I'm going to continue to work remotely from anywhere in the world, travel the world doing public speaking. That is what I am speaking over myself and praying. That is what I think God wants for me too, right? After conversations with him and just seeing the gifts that he has given me. But I need my life to look like that. You understand what I'm saying? So like my Instagram feed, I kind of not washed it, but started to really make it look like beachy and experiencey and me working out. Like I want people to see who I want to be when they see me off rip. So even if I'm not as fit as I want to be right now, when you go to my page, when you go to my brand, when you go to my website, you still gonna see me, you gonna see working out. So you're gonna know that working out is important to me, even if I haven't reached the goal yet. You're gonna know that beaches and travel is important to me, even if I'm not living that full beach life yet. But I need my audience, my community to know what I love and what I stand for off rip, even if I'm still in the trajectory of getting there. So it seems trivial when you're just talking about social media, but it really is like putting out who you want to be. Even if you're not there yet, you got to believe it's possible. You got to see it yourself. And when I go to my feed, I'll be like, yes, girl, that's you. Cocktails, on the beach, working out with your kids, with your husband, doing what you do. That is what I will have at some point on a consistent basis, not just when we're taking vacation. And so that was another thing. I just kind of made my brand look like who I want to be in the future. The next thing that I did, baby, was I started therapy. And the therapy was the game changer. I can't get into all the specifics of how I was able to start therapy so quickly and have the sessions that I had. But when I tell you it has totally changed my life, it has totally changed my life. I'm so thankful for my therapist. And seek therapy. You have things that you need to work through. And I went to therapy for one thing, and we were able to get that one thing together in 2 sessions. The remaining sessions was all these other things that I just never thought about. But when those light bulbs went off and when that therapist really had me think, I was like, wow. So starting therapy totally reinvented me, helped me be Patrice. And it is showing up in a positive way in my marriage, at my job, with my kids, like with my family members. And it's hard, like boo-hoo crying. I remember one time I had to send a text message to somebody. My therapist was like, I need you to do it right now. And I cried so hard because the feelings that were elicited from having to do that, but I needed to feel that, to understand so much. So I started therapy, and that has been a game changer for me. Okay, guys, the next thing that I did to totally reinvent myself was setting boundaries. Learning how to say no, loving how to say no. When it comes to work, I cut meetings in half. I now have office hours where if you have a meeting outside of what we normally do, it needs to be scheduled within this block of time. I also cut down on like the personal catch-ups. And let's get coffee and let's get drinks. Cut down on it. Because as much as I love connecting with my people, it takes up time, it takes up money. And so for me to exert the energy to do all of that, it has to be mutually beneficial. And so I just really kind of look at those opportunities from a critical standpoint, right? Like, do I need to meet with you, or can we just have a quick FaceTime to catch up? You know, because I have to manage my time. I'm 40. I have 3 kids. I have a full-time job. I was about to say I have a business, but I don't really have a business anymore. Oh my God, that's crazy. And so I just needed to one of the reasons why I closed my business was because it allowed me to free up time. But I can't now put meetings and coffee meetings and social gatherings in that time. No, I need to leave that time clear so that I can have time to think and be with my family. So I just got really good with saying no and also asking questions. I'm speaking up now a lot more and asking questions, because before I say no, before I say yes, I need to understand the thought process of the person that I'm communicating with. I need to understand where they're coming from. Because once I understand that, then I'm able to say yay, nay, let me think about it. But there's no more of the immediate yes. It's usually going to be an immediate no. And then we can dial it back if need be. Because when you tell people no, they start to realize that they ain't really needed anyway. And they respect you. And they respect your yeses a lot more. And so that's been very helpful for me, speaking up for myself. I learned in therapy that from the time I was 3, I was afraid to show emotion. I'm a very emotional person. I've had a few people in my life that have made me feel like showing emotion is not okay. And so the only way that I then was able to show my worth was to be the perfect person. Grade school, straight A's, teacher's pet, all the things, check the boxes, whatever. And in therapy, I realized that was no longer serving me, and I have to learn how to say no, and I have to do what works for Patrice. Have to. And sometimes that means telling my kids, it is what it is. The other thing, and I guess the final thing, and you know what, this reinvention process is ongoing. I love who I'm becoming. I'm proud of myself. I see changes every single day. But the other thing was closing my business. I needed to reinvent myself because I have been attached to this brick and mortar for years. And that attachment was something that I actually liked because I felt like that's what made me. That's what made me important. But it's not. It's something that I contributed to the world. And now we're moving on. And now it's time for me to contribute something else. So closing my business was huge in this reinvention stage of Patrice. And yeah, like I said, I hope that this video gives you permission to reinvent yourself, gives you permission to look at your life and say, what do I need to change? What do I love? What do I not like? Who do I love? Who do I not want in my space anymore? Do I look how I want to look? Do I feel how I want to look? Are you going to be perfect all the time? Hell no. But you should always be on the trajectory to being your best. I hope this helps you. Again, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, click subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And let me think. I have a question for you to answer in the comments. When is the last time you did a reinvention? Or have you ever reinvented yourself? Have you ever intentionally said, I want to be a different person? I want people to feel differently about me. I want them to see something different. I want to change who I am to the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. Have you ever done that? Yes or no? Tell me how it went. And I would love to hear your stories of reinvention. You don't have to reinvent yourself when you hit a milestone birthday. 40, 30, 20. You can reinvent yourself when you 26 and a half, okay? 32 and 4 months. Anytime you want to switch it up, switch it up. You don't owe anybody anything. You can be exactly who you want to be. Now, what I will say is whatever brand that you put out there, make sure that's really you. Because I run into people all the time who, when I see them online, they one person, and I meet them in real life, it's like, I'm sorry, who are you? Who are you? The one thing that I love about myself is I'm Patrice all around. That doesn't mean everybody gets the same version of me, because that's not it. But what you see online is real. I am Patrice. I talk the way I talk online. I talk like that when I'm sitting here. I type when I'm that's me. If you know me, you know me. And even if you don't know me, when you meet me, you're like, oh, that's just how she be online too. I like to joke. I can keep it serious. I can drop some real gems on you, or I can be dumb and silly. I can give you sexy. I can give you professional. I can do all of that, and that's okay. So if you're thinking about changing who you are, I would just make sure that you always stay true to you. Don't be somebody different online, because people got to meet you in real life at some point. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love you. If there are any certain things that you want me to talk more on, put it in the comments. Talk to your girl. Don't know if I'm gonna keep doing these long form videos though, because y'all don't be watching the long form videos. So I might just take this and make it a whole bunch of clips and see how they do. But at the end of the day, I know that I have important things to say, and I know that it resonates with people. So I'm probably gonna keep doing it. Hope you have a lovely day. Make sure you share this. Bye. Happy reinvention.